Well, hello. I hope you're doing well. I thought it was about time I would give you an update. And basically, I have been working in this project that's more backend heavy. As you know, I usually create videos around Next.js. It's the technology that I'm the most comfortable with, and I really like it. And honestly, I hope I get to do a lot of more projects with Next.js. But last year, there was like a time where I just noticed that um, it was more important for me to get some more backend skills. And in previous jobs, like I have used authentication and databases and WebSockets, like a lot of things, right? But as far as personal projects go, I don't have anything that's on GitHub that I can showcase. So I just wanted to work in a project that it used, as we listed here, authentication, file uploads, child processes, WebSockets, workers, databases, webhooks, like a lot of that, right? Um, so the first part was the idea, and to be honest, it's something pretty simple. I'm gonna show you what I did. I created this backend agnostic image processing because I also have been working with TypeScript and JavaScript a lot, and I know like when you talk about backend, a lot of people want to hear more about like Golang or C Sharp, stuff like that. But I just wanted to start with what I'm the most familiar with, and the goal for this project is not to focus so much in the front end, is actually to have multiple backends running, and no matter what you choose, it should operate the exact same, right? So let's just take a look at it real quick. It's a very basic application. I come here to uh, select the TypeScript one that's live, then I'm gonna input some information. I'm gonna say login, and now it redirected me to the dashboard. And there we go. And here you can see that I have processed a lot of stuff, but I can go ahead and select the images. So for example, I have a folder here with just like a ton of images. So I'm gonna select them. I'm gonna say open, and I'm gonna say process batch, which now it started processing and says it's completed. So I'm gonna go to results. And as you can see here, a bunch of images, and I mean, I just use gray images, but what it does pretty much is just add text in the center. We're using FFmpeg, which is installed in my system, and we're running child processes to add text to it. Now, this could be a way more intensive process, like you could do more image processing or video or you name it. Like, but what I wanted to do is just like batch process a bunch of images. And I also implemented this webhooks part, which like as you can tell here, you can add a webhook and put a label, a URL, the method, extra config, and every time we upload files, it's gonna run the webhook, right? Now, in a real application, like obviously you would have like multiple triggers, and when you configure a webhook, you would actually need to set up your trigger. But in this case, we only have one process, so we just set it up to be triggered every time that runs. And as you can tell here, we have some tests, and I'm gonna show you this one that was successful before. And yeah, you can tell it just shows you the request config and the response that they're getting in the logs. And yeah, you can come here and update it or delete it like regular stuff. And you can also go back and see the process itself to see the result. And yeah, we can come here and log out. And now we can go ahead and select another backend. And yeah, so basically, I used child processes to distribute the load. So, like, when we're processing those images, maybe we have like 50. So, what we do is like create chunks and distribute that load uh, in different cores. And yeah, just make it faster pretty much. Um, I also like added the webhooks. Obviously, I'm using authentication and databases. As far as the user roles and permissions, like I just have one type of user, so I just every time I need to perform an action in the backend. I just need to check that the user is authenticated or that maybe the process it belongs to a certain user, like just basic stuff, but not very intensive, like user roles and stuff like that. Well, as far as what I didn't do, I basically didn't add WebSockets. Like I have worked with them in the past, but like here, maybe what I could have done is just like send an event to the client whenever the images are done processing and then update the UI, for example. But I just didn't do it because if I want to make this backend agnostic, it actually would have required more work on the front end side because I would have needed to create like a wrapper for all the clients and stuff like that. So I kind of, I think I'll still do it, but for now, like I just haven't. And yeah, eventually I might put this in like a Docker container and add rate limiting. But yeah, so far I just wanted to finish like the initial functionality, and that's what I did. Um, Now I wanted to tell you a bit about the process of building this. As you, well, you probably can't see, but I'm using Cursor, and it's been great. It blows my mind what it can do. And but I wanted to say like I have had to be a bit more intentional with my learning because like AI is now so good that I was able to do this in like 2 days. And I when I started the project, which I thought I was gonna do it like yeah, last year, and then I just put it off. I thought it was gonna take me a while, but it took me like 2 days, and it wasn't even very intensive. Like this AI stuff is really good. Now, what the caveat is that I do think that because of the background that I have, I know obviously how to prompt it, and I can make the best of it. Or if something breaks, I know what is potentially broken. Like so, I obviously it's necessary that you have that background, but yeah, I mentioned that I have had to be more intentional with my learning, and I really mean that because I there was like a time a few weeks ago that I was feeling like I was being super productive, but I hadn't learned anything new, and it's because I wasn't paying attention to some of the code that the AI was writing, or I just was happy that I got it done. So like then you have to like go back and try to really ask yourself how things work, right? And I I wanted to tell you about the authentication. So for example, here you can tell that it's like pretty fast and I built it. And in the past, I still used third-party services for authentication. I used to use Auth0, Clerk, stuff like that. And it's great. But I usually used it because it helped me get started quicker. But now AI is so good that I can prompt it to create a login with my Mantine UI, which is like my component library, and it just works. It's great. So like it's even faster to implement your own these days than it is to use a third party service. And that's one of my biggest takeaways because obviously I still think it's convenient as far as user experience goes that you give the option to log in with Google. So like for example, like Alzira was great in that sense because I could just like plug and play. But then when you go to production, you still have to get your credentials through like the Google dashboard. I don't know if that has changed to be honest, because I haven't done it for a while. But when I did it, that was like the annoying part. So it's like I might as well just implement my own login. I don't have user limits. I can register as many as I want, and eventually I have to do the work of getting my credentials and tokens and everything from the Google like dashboard anyway. So yeah, I just thought it's great because I hadn't created a login in years, to be honest. But this one's arguably even better because it has validation, it's not limited, and it has the UI that I'm using for the rest of my application, which is like maintain UI. And I mean, it's great. It's pretty fast. Um, so yeah, I imagine that doing the backend in other programming languages is going to be quicker as well because now that I have AI, like implementing the C# version and the Golang version, and it probably will be quicker. But yeah, I I just wanted to like showcase some like backend abilities. This is a super basic app. Obviously, there's way more advanced stuff, but um, I just wanted to document something that I've created, and I'll make this. I'll put the repository and the links and everything. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.